trying to just use that X-ray vision, smaller time frames with a higher time frame bias, the next area of liquidity is this high. Hey trader. Alright, I want to do a quick pairing profile exercise. So back testing this. So here we have a London delayed protraction. So on a delayed protraction, we're looking for a consolidation where price will not run a London, will not give a London run to kick off a bearish move. So here we have Asia. There's no high run high, but London just runs soft, and then the delayed protraction happens after 2. So here at 2 o'clock, that protraction is delayed, it comes up to a high. Then we know we've got the dead zone where we're waiting between 5 and 9. So we let the news embargo kick in, we let the London lunch happen, all that stuff, you know, treat that as a dead zone. We can say that it takes buy side here, still doesn't go above Asia's high. So focusing on PM session trades, we let the 9:30 play out. We let the 9:30 open play out, so the opening range from 9:30 to 10:30. So once that plays out, now we're looking to see 10:30 until 11:45. What did that AM session do? So 9:30 all the way to 11:45. And we're just using all of this to frame. So within this time period, we can see at the end of that time period, there was a price low. I'll have to remove this. So that low becomes the AM session low. And this would be the AM session high. Okay, fair enough. So in this narrative, we're waiting to see after New York open, so the first pairing of the profile, month 8 ICT mentorship is New York open will run to a low. There's some schematic here running to a low. Now after noon, we're out of the London profile and we'll be looking at the intraday profile. So pairing this profile with a rundown and this profile with a rundown, well, what happens after lunch? So lunch is assumed between noon and 1. So everything on the right of this profile is where we're kicking into. But we need to tie in some higher time frame narrative. So when price is running down, we're now looking to see on a 15 or 60 minute array what's here. So if we jump up to the 60 minute, so here on the 60 minute, we're looking what's below this AM low. And so we've got this cluster of price action here. This cluster of price action, we can see the consequent encroachment. So we go back down to the 5 minute. And what we're looking for is some price action below that AM session low that will help us to kick off price. So if this was one of those times, super confident, where you can see at the 50% there is an order block, then that order block could be an entry. But the other thing I wanted to use this journal is when you've got these consecutive runs, this price action here is that classic accumulation manipulation below a low, distribution. So here's our consolidation. We have our AM session low. We know that we're looking for a run below that low. We have that consolidation here. That consolidation has a runaway price. Now we can pair that with both of these profiles to say I'm anticipating a soft run, meaning no exacerbated moves above Asia, all the way until London close just before noon. And I'm expecting to see a run below a price action and possibly a move up. So if I'm anticipating some sort of move up, waiting for a low to be taken, then I start to pair my concepts. So PM session, we know that we've got a lunchtime price action that is also suggesting to go below the low, which is a run up in lunch, a low, right after, just after lunch we'll have a lower high, and then something that will clear below, which is this movement here. Now getting in on an AMD is very tough. Sometimes you have to just see the price action moving above an area, and once it's been cleared, you reclaim it. So as soon as price starts to wick above this area, you enter on a reclaimed entry. You can also look at reclaiming fair value gaps. And so on the distribution leg, you're not really getting a chance to enter if you don't get in on the original price point. So once this fair value gap gets run out, you enter on the retest, or you can do so on the second fair value gap. This one actually doesn't give a clear push up and then retest, so it would be this order block. And the other thing I wanted to enter on this journal is how do you can anticipate where price is going. So in this type of move, the move preceding is here, but let's also look at the lower time frame to kind of get a sense of how is it possible to have estimated to hold this trade if you got in at any point there. How do you hold this trade with any confidence, and where would it likely go? So this week, a lot of wicks on this week. The daily chart wasn't giving a lot of info, so I'm going to do an overlay of a 4-hour chart. I'm going to clear some of this up. So on the 4-hour chart, let's look back at what this price action was doing. So this tool is just giving an overlay of the 4-hour candle. So here's our 4-hour candle, and we can see long wick pushing down. We have a fair value gap all in here. That fair value gap gets filled. So once that fair value gap gets filled, airing the profiles, we're looking at this area as filling the fair value gap and maintaining a bullish structure. So we fill the fair value gap. Sunday price action we ignore. We're staying out to that 5 to 9, 9:30 open. We see price runs down, comes back into an area that we'd be interested in, and now we're saying where would our targets be. There are no gaps in this price action on a 4-hour. So again, trying to just use that X-ray vision, smaller time frames with a higher time frame bias. The next area of liquidity is this high. And yeah, I mean, I know it's very specific, and it might, obviously it's picked specifically for the journal entry. The other area that we'll be looking at is our run. So that run above this high happens here, and we're using one of our extensions. So the swing point that precedes the move, which is this swing from here to here, that low to that high, and then looking at our buy side target and the first standard deviation above it as a most favorable exit. Is where it'd be looking to take price off. That's what's called a projected range. Now you have several other, the projection above this buy side is here, the closest standard deviation above it. So you can see the sensitivity here. Similarly, the same next standard deviation sensitivity here. Same standard deviation here. Same sensitivity here. Running through, and ultimately getting above this buy side on a 4-hour time frame. So using the narrative of filling the fair value gap, not breaking structure bearish, running up. There's no fair value gap to qualify this as an order block to keep price going bearish. What that does is it simply retests something in the discount price level of this trading leg. So once we've completed that run, actually this would be the leg seeking the liquidity, this would be the leg for the discount. So once we've done that, we'll be seeking some level of discount within here. So we want to get below the 50% line. A lot of stuff on here now. And once we have that entry, we have several different targets, projected ranges, and looking back on the 4-hour, which is an overlay. So these candles are just an overlay of the 4-hour candles onto a smaller time frame. The swing point on a 4-hour is up here. So that would give an idea of where would price want to get to. All right, cool, man. That's it for this one.